Tottenham bow out of the Champions League. A pitiful, a cowardly, an awful performance from the North London Lily Whites. Harry Kane, trophyless again. Tottenham, trophyless again. And Antonio Conte looking like he is on his way out. In other news, Messi, Mbappe, PSG flop again in the Champions League. They're out early. Another disastrous season for them because they are essentially judged only on their Champions League success. We're going to delve into both games today, but I got to start with Tottenham. Firstly, bigger fish to fry, according to George only a few weeks ago. Many Tottenham fans, we don't want Carabao Cups. We want bigger trophies. What is this nonsense? Your club, listen, you got beat by AC Milan, who have heritage. You got beat by a very good team tonight, a good team tonight. You weren't hammered 5-6-0, but it was a pitiful performance. You were outplayed in both legs. It took you until the 95th minute to register a proper shot on goal. Good header by Harry Kane. Your number one centre-back, utterly embarrassing, humiliating. He circumcised himself in front of White Hart Lane, above the Formula One go-karting track, and got himself sent off. Every Spurs fan should be fuming with him. He let your whole club down tonight. You have Son dropping another disaster class of a performance. You get £60 million Richarlison coming on, who did diddly squat, nil point, zero, nothing. And absolutely a unique performance. None. Man can't perform. No balls. It was a impotent, embarrassing, overall Spursy night tonight. And if you're a Tottenham fan, you have got to be fuming at that. What has led to this is a bad summer transfer window, as many people told you. Not giving the manager what he wants. Keeping, for me, in my opinion, a Harry Kane that doesn't want to be there. The continuation of playing the likes of Son, even though he's been absolutely awful. And this has all led to a disjointed, unhappy, inharmonious squad. And the fans play a part in this because they haven't put the right pressure on the club. They celebrated the sixth sense. They celebrated winning the transfer window. They disregarded domestic cup competitions because I honestly think there is a percentage of Tottenham fans that believe they're a top six club, but they are the bottom of the pecking order. I think they really believe they had a chance of winning this. Antonio Conte has probably the worst record in Europe for an elite level manager. For a manager who has won multiple league titles at the highest level of the game, his European record is beyond shocking. And I'm going to say to you as well, Tottenham fans, you brought this on yourself. Spurs fans in my group chats, Spurs fans in my DMs, Spurs fans in the live comment section, laughing at Man United at the weekend. We deserve to be bantered by Liverpool, by City, by Arsenal maybe. But by you? How dare you? My club embarrassed me with a 7-0 performance at the weekend. But I would rather go through that every time I play Liverpool than be a Tottenham fan. Legit. Your club, you guys aren't even embarrassed half the time because it is standard practice. And to be bantering teams that are more successful than you in their bad periods is an utter disgrace. And there's a lot of Spurs fans that watch the Terrace, and I feel for you. Jerome, Daniel, Orchie, these guys that come on because they keep it real. Savs the other day. And many of you Spurs fans in my comment section that watch on a regular basis. You all demand more from your club. I think that's why you're here and not watching other Tottenham channels who essentially protect the club, pretend they're all good, you know, and their season is defined by a couple of good results and a bit of banter. What a shambles. What an utter shambles. It really was. It really was an absolute shambles of a performance tonight. You know, any claims that listen, Arsenal have not been in the Champions League for 5 or 6 years, but they're on the edge of winning a Premier League. They'll be back in it next year. And look at you had a period of time, a 5-6 year period where you have been better than Arsenal. Not bigger, but better than Arsenal. And you have nothing to show for it. Mauricio Pochettino may now be on his way back. If I'm a Tottenham fan, I would be absolutely fuming. I would be fuming with the direction that my football club is going in. The idea that you're going to get back together with your ex who didn't win you anything in the first place. It's wrong. Then you've got Harry Kane. Listen, he was pocketed tonight by Tomori. Pocketed. But this happens to Harry Kane in nearly every single one of Tottenham's big games. Is it him? Is he a big game flop? Maybe. Some of you will believe that. But I honestly believe he has done as much as he can for this squad. The reason I think he flops in these games is because it's all, Harry will do it for us. Oh, Harry's our man. With Harry here, we'll be okay. No, you won't. You won't be okay. You need other people to step up and deliver. And only once, really, have I seen that in the last 5 or 6 years, and that was the Champions League semi-final, where the players stepped up without him. Outside of that, if Harry Kane doesn't deliver, if Harry Kane doesn't perform, the team doesn't. And I've seen England put that pressure on Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney collapsed, a man who delivered in multiple big games. You know, the only man in history to have 2 Man of the Match awards in FA Cup finals. Couldn't do it for England because the whole country put the pressure on him. Spurs put too much pressure on Kane. He needs to go to a club where the pressure is spread out across the team. Get yourself out, Harry Kane. Legitimately, get yourself out. You've got to go. You've got to move yourself on. You've got to get away, you know, to create that legacy in football that you need, because that is what you need, is real legacy. And I have the same message for Mbappe. Mbappe's won World Cups. So people go, he's got a legacy, and he has. He's won a World Cup. But domestically, club level, no one cares about French league titles. You've been knocked out the Champions League again, Mbappe. Domestically, at club level and domestically now, you need to go to La Liga or the Premier League or Serie A, maybe even the Bundesliga. You got to go to a Big Four league and start to win there, and then do something in the Champions League. Not just score the goals, win it. You have to win it. Pedigree and legendary status is created by scoring and winning for an attacker. He's done it at world cup level, like world level, which is amazing. But you still need more, because I believe you can achieve the ultimate greatness. I believe Mbappe can be one of those rare individuals that achieves it domestically, on a European club level, so continentally, I suppose you would call it, and then at a world level. And I want to see him move on. Harry Kane, in my opinion, has the ability, has the outputs to deliver at every single stage. He now needs to move him onto a club that can help him deliver that, because it is never, in a month of Sundays, going to be Tottenham Hotspur. It is as simple and as straightforward as that. And I just don't think you can get away from it. That's it. Point blank. 110%. Has to be said. It really does. I'm not too sure where the Spurs fans are. We've shared the link in the comment section if you want to come on and have your say. I know Patrick was at the game tonight, but I've not heard from George for days. Young Danny, I'm not too sure where man are at. I need to hear from them tonight. And you know, I didn't really react too much to them on Sunday when they were bantering my team for losing. But it was like, if I was a Spurs fan this week, I'd have kept my mouth firmly shut with what you know you have kind of coming up, etc. I really, really would have done. Tottenham gets wooded everywhere they go, lads. Hold that L, Spurs, forever in Arsenal's shadow. I want to hear the word Romero is world-class again, as he is so overrated. It's unreal. And Kane yet again proves he's not a big game player, is what Joshua Loveless has got to say there. Yeah, Romero was beyond a clown tonight. Beyond a clown. I think you mean castrate and not circumcised. No, I mean like circumcise. I actually mean circumcise. I don't mean castrate. Finally, put the pressure on, and Romero does that. Look, Romero, he is a good defender, but he's not an elite defender, because he does what he did today too often. Now, he doesn't always get sent off, but the way he rushes out and goes to ground, he will cost his team. He will cost his team. A difference between Chelsea and Spurs in the Champions League heritage. Chelsea beat Milan 3-0 at Stamford Bridge this season. Chelsea did. That's why it's an embarrassing performance. Milan are not that good. Certain people's goat, Messi, ghosted as per usual. Obviously, I know it's sarcastic. Messi's not ghosted in his career. I thought Messi played okay tonight, but Bayern Munich are just too strong for them. And PSG, there's just something about that club. I think the lack of seriousness is an issue there. Oh Spurs, what do we do with this team? They've got to start again. Terry, can you give Greta, how dare you, to Spurs fans? Terry, don't worry. Chelsea will carry London to another European trophy like we always have. Tottenham giving London a bad name. Just leave. This says, just leave it to us. Can we talk about how Tomori didn't go to the World Cup? I mean, he should have gone to the World Cup. I mean, it's a weird one that with England centre-backs, like a lot of people want John Stones and Maguire for England are fantastic, to be fair. But he should be in this squad. He was fantastic tonight. Proper Chelsea Tomori and Giroud doing God's work. If Kane doesn't leave in the summer, he is a fraud, is what the game says. And see here, it says Tottenham with 0 trophies is like breathing air. It just happens without thinking. Let's be real. Kane's a stat merchant, goes limp during the big occasion. It's a fair claim. It is a fair claim. I think Harry Kane's brilliant. But the only way I can be proven right is him leaving, going to a bigger club and delivering. Because he's never going to do it at Tottenham. Too small. They're too cowardly. Nathaniel here says Chelsea overturn and come back against one of the most informed teams in Europe, and Spurs couldn't beat a team with an inconsistent football heritage. Well, Milan's football heritage is sensational. Their recent contemporary history is poor, and they should be able to beat them as a Premier League team. They embarrassed the whole league tonight. The whole league was embarrassed. That stat is so bad. Heard that from TV commentators. Romero, 7 yellow cards and 2 reds in 13 games. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. And you get away with a lot less in Europe as well. Terry, you really want Kane? He's got that Spurs DNA. I believe Man United, I believe Arsenal, I believe Liverpool as examples could change that DNA in him. I believe it would be doable. But I do want to show you guys a funny video that's been sent to me tonight. Take a little look at this. Have a little listen to this. This is from Henry Wright before the game. Take a little listen.
Tottenham are going to destroy AC Milan tonight. You've heard it here first. I'm saying we are going to destroy them. We're going to end their Champions League hopes. 3-0 I'm going for. A Harry Kane masterclass. You are done.
You are done.
You are finished.
You are finished, Henry.
Adios.
Auf Wiedersehen.
AC Milan are going to be out the competition.
They're not.
And Tottenham are going to progress.
You're not. You're out, my old mucker.
To the quarter-final. I'm saying it right now.
You shouldn't have said it. Ever.
I have got every ounce of faith.
Liar. You did not believe that TikTok, Henry Wright. How can you have faith in a team that never wins? It don't make any sense, bruv. It's like Alfie Moon having faith that Cat Slater's not going to cheat on him. It's never going to happen, bruv. It's never going to happen.
In us to win tonight. We might have lost to Sheffield United. We might have lost to Wolves.
And you didn't lose tonight, but you went out tonight. Henry Wright and Tottenham fans in the mud. In the mud. In the mud. The confidence is far too high for a team that doesn't achieve. And some people say, you should have faith in your team. Let people support their team. Let people do their thing. No. No. Stop it. Stop it. Know your place. What is it The Rock would say? Know your role. Is that what you say? Know your role, you Rudy Poo. Know your role in football. And I don't care how many Spurs fans get angry about this. I'm doing this to protect you. I'm doing it to protect you. Stop talking to the big boys. It's like Amir Khan asking Anthony Joshua to a fight. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's only going to end one way, with you on your back, snoring in an unconscious state. Spudball, being honest, Milan wasn't even great. They weren't. They weren't even great. They weren't great. How is a Spurs fan chatting like this to Milan? It's incredible. It's honestly like Susan Boyle saying Megan Fox is ugly. That's the levels we're talking about here. It's I don't know what they say. I don't know what these Rudy Poos see. Evening, I think the Premier League should take the Champions League spot away from Tottenham as they take away a team who could win the Champions League. That's probably a good idea. You turn around and say to Tottenham, it will give you some of the money, like you'll share the money with the club, but there's no point you participating. Give them like a little certificate for well done for qualifying. Listen, give them a top 4 trophy, but say don't come in. Remember, these guys have on their honors list on their website the Costa del Sol trophy and the International Sun competition. And the Western Supermare Open. Legitimately, just give them a trophy and say, but you can't play in it. They'll accept it. Know your role and shut your mouth is what The Rock says. That's the one. But does the eyebrow thing. I can't do the eyebrow thing. I can't do one at a time. Give him the people's elbow. He used to do that, didn't he? I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. I did stop when I got a bit older. I was too busy doing things. But there we go. Remember, we are sponsored tonight, by the way, by Top Kicks. Get that app downloaded now. Link in the description. Also, the link is, or you can scan the QR code on the screen as well. Get that done. I do need to let you know as well, not one Spurs fan is yet to join. Hello, darkness. I'm going to see if I can find. Hello? 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 Oh, bigger room. Hello? Hello? They're not here. Can't find them anywhere. Not even young Dan. I sent in the link. I don't know what time it is in America. He might be at school or something. I don't know. But there we go. The history of the Tottenham. It certainly is their history. And listen, up until this season, I had no qualm with Tottenham. But the way they talk to other clubs, it's an utter embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. Man United have lost more finals and they've won trophies. And they talk to us. Milan. I think Milan have more Champions Leagues than they have league titles. In fact, Milan probably have more Champions Leagues than Spurs have participated in the competition. And they call them out. Weird. Stay in your lane, FC. Very much my fault. Until you win something major, then start talking to us. But until that point, shush. I don't know, man. It's just one of them ones for me. It's just one of those things for me where I look at it and think to myself, I want to see more. I just want to see more. But there we go. This is Spurs have listed the Vodacom Cup, which is a preseason tournament they played in here in South Africa. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they list that as a tournament. George's not turning up. What a shock. Yeah, I don't know. I absolutely don't know. But there we go. 1 second. 1 second, peeps. I'm going to send a message real quick. It's 5 a.m. p.m. for him. No excuses, young Daniel. Literally the sound of inside Spurs' trophy cabinet is what you heard there. There we go. Of course, we are going to talk a bit about Bayern Munich and the PSG game today as well, because for me, a real interesting one. Real interesting one indeed. Very intrigued to know what people thought of that with them going out and stuff like that. Yeah. Real interesting one. Expressions, Deji, Patrick, Tobes, we warned you is what KB Sports has got to say here. There we go. Right, I'm going to bring a panel out now to have their say on this because I want to chat to them. We're going to bring out young Samuel, Winter Surfers here. We've got obviously Tom Little to come out as well and have his say. Gio, an AC Milan fan, will be joining us on the show to have his say as well. Tom's here with us. Winter Surfer's here. Gio's here. Young Samuel's here as well. Welcome to the show, gents. A crazy, crazy night. A crazy, crazy night.
Was it?
It's Tottenham. It's Tottenham.
Was it?
We knew this was happening. It's Tottenham and Conte. I couldn't think of a worse duo for Champions League. Antonio Conte still has not won a UCL knockout match that is not against Celtic. He's still yet to win one that isn't against a Scottish League team.
That is shocking, bro. It's really of a manager. Listen, Terry, I just want to put a response out there. I know Patrick went to the game today, but the tweet before the match, I just want to say to that, certain clubs haven't had nights like this in 6 or 7 years. Other clubs have never had nights like this, yet they continue to talk on our name. So with that last sentence, he's comparing Tottenham to mid-table clubs. This is the beta mentality that fan base has. Happy to participate. That's what the club is. We're just happy to be there. Happy to be here.
I get the feeling his club will go 6 or 7 years without Champions League at this rate.
Listen. This is the end of Tottenham. The 7 years,
7 years
of
without
Champions
trophies
League
as
is
well.
done. You can enjoy your go-karting tracks. You can enjoy everything. But George, given all that talk about Man United winning a trophy, disregarding a trophy, George disregarded the FA Cup and League Cup, saying they're not important. And then nowhere to be found tonight. Nowhere to be found. I'll tell you what, I'm calling out Alan. I don't know where he is. Patrick, obviously, we understand. Dan, all of you, just like your club, you all bottled it. You can give a talk when something else goes wrong for the other clubs, but when it comes to their own club, nowhere to be found. Just like their club, nowhere to be found.
That was just even his substitutions. Kulusevski off, Richarlison on, and still the same formation. It was just.
I
Why
just
not
love
go
that they
for
go
it? Why
down.
not-
They're
why not
down
go
to
for it?
10 men.
I know,
If you
just
concede,
go
you're out
for it.
anyway. You're
Go
out
for it.
anyway if you concede, so
Yeah.
you might as well just commit.
That's what I mean. He's got no bottle. This guy. He's got no. 3-4-3 again. He didn't even do any change. I mean, it's nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's just. I mean, the Spurs fans are leaving way before that as well. It's just. You know what? You should. And I know Gio's here, but Gio would understand. There's been better Milan sides in this competition than this one, right? Gio, do you know what I mean? Now, I think they're not the best Milan side, but they weren't even under pressure. I mean, Manuel made what? One half save that got deflected in the first half with his foot. It was just nothing. Why should we be surprised?
But when the surfer, I gotta give credit to
Divock
Chelsea
nearly
fans.
bagged. Divock
Yeah.
Origi nearly bagged for
He
Christ's
did. He
sake.
hit the post.
I gotta give credit to Chelsea fans in this moment, because the moment Antonio Conte was appointed, Chelsea fans said this will happen, and look
There's
exactly what happened.
I'll tell you what. Antonio Conte's perfect if you're a team that's not in Europe. He's perfect. That's why we won the league. As soon as we got
Honestly-
to the second season, we were rubbish.
Do you know what though? We can put this on Conte, and Conte deserves a lot of blame for this.
Yes.
But let's also have a discussion about this world-class Tottenham team's world-class players, i.e. Christian world-class Romero, who
Oh.
once again the pressure's on. They need someone to, they go on about how Ben Davies is a liability at the back, Eric Dyer's a liability at the back. Christian Romero's a liability at the back because when you need him most, he's sent off, he's suspended. So what's the point? Heung-min Son, awful again. They were telling me, so it's a slow start, but he'll kick in October, November. Then he didn't kick in, so it was like, okay, he'll kick in after the World Cup. And then he didn't kick in, so then you're like, he done this last year, and then he went on to, tie the golden boot, so he'll kick in around February. Still waiting for this kick in. So far, he has scored goals in 3 games this season. Sorry, 4, because we'll count Preston for them. 4 games this season, Heung-min Son has scored a goal in. 4. Like, it's a joke. He's awful. Harry Kane was shocking. They were all awful.
Do you know the bit that gets to me? The bit that really gets to me and winds me up is I want to make sure I say this in the right way as well. There's one I can tell all week. I've had to take getting bantered off big clubs and people that have won and achieved things. But I refuse to be bantered by teams that don't sit on the same table as me. A Spurs fan or an Everton fan or a Bournemouth fan. It's like, bruv, I would gladly get beat once a year, twice a year by Liverpool 7-0 to not be your club. Like, legitimately, as embarrassing as it was, I'd still rather be in my position today than a Spurs fan. but it's the big one they give it before the game. But I think you're absolutely right, Winter Surfer. In terms of the team, there is
gutless.
it is gutless,
Absolutely
and they don't want to play for the manager.
Nope.
The manager doesn't want to be there. There was no impetus. There was no fight. There was no urgency at any point in that game. The fans were flat and quiet. There was 6 minutes to go and they were leaving. And the irony is, I kind of wanted at the end Harry Kane to score, because then it would have been why the hell would you leave a Champions League game where you need one goal to go to extra time? That's the mentality.
Right.
That's the mentality. And even by Patrick's tweet earlier, look, that I know was already mentioned by Sam, you know, some clubs haven't done this for 5 or 6 years. Some clubs have never done this. I'm like, bruv, it's the last 16 second leg of a Champions League. This is the point. That for a lot of Tottenham fans, that is their final. They've achieved. They're angry they're not through, but they'll wake up tomorrow morning and go, oh, but at least we got to go to the Champions League. Bloody hell, this ain't Disneyland. This ain't Disneyland. It isn't a prize that you won on the back of a box of cereal. It's professional football. You should be trying to win. And by the way, that's why I've always got a lot of respect for Jerome, young Daniel, expressions, because they're angry they're not winning. Where a lot of Spurs fans are just angry that they're not above Arsenal. It's crazy. We will come to Gio in a minute. From your point of view, Egal, what are you saying, bro?
Back to life, back to reality. I told you guys this was going to happen at the beginning of the season. Hey, let's get it. I told you guys about this at the beginning of the season. I told you guys the same thing happens. Rinse, repeat, recycle every single year. You guys start the season with a little bit of hope. Tottenham fans tell me we're going to win the league or the Champions League, and you end up amounting to absolutely nothing. Odds Bible, you had them at 25 to 1 odds. I'm not a betting man, but anyone who had money, you should have placed a bet that they weren't going to win nothing, because that's what they do every single year. By the way, they rested their players against Sheffield United to play against Wolves. They lost. They then, after losing to Wolves, they go and they draw this game versus AC Milan to get knocked out of the Champions League. In the last 3 games, Tottenham have ended their whole entire season in a 3-game span. That's the definition of Spursy. Also, come outside, Tottenham fans. Where are you? There's no Tottenham fans on the stream. I don't see any of them coming on the stream anytime soon. Where are you guys? Come on. If anyone's backstage, Terry, please let me know, because they need to get absolutely rinsed, recycled, and cooked. Heung-min Son, where have you been? Kane, what is going on? Christian Romero, don't even get me started. That guy can't control himself. He continues to make these same mistakes. And you know what? They sang a song about you've got Ben White, we've got Christian Romero. You know what? It's the other way around. We've got Ben White, you've got Christian Romero. That's what the reality is. On top of that, let's bring it back. You guys are not a football club. You guys are a stadium. That's your crown jewel.
Now they are, yeah. Yep.
That is what you have. You don't have anything else. You don't bring trophies to the table. You don't actually do anything to bring success to your club. Your fans continue to come at us. Guess what? You celebrated top 4 last season like you accomplished something. Guess what you did? With that top 4, you signed 6 players that were bang average. You had Antonio Conte, who couldn't do nothing with your squad because he depends on world-class players to come into his team to improve him. And on top of that, your whole team, your best players all regressed. Everything you did last season was for absolutely no reason. You bandaged over cracks and you continue to regress as a football club. Now you've been knocked out of the Champions League. This season, if you don't finish in the top 4, I don't see you coming back the following season, even with the format changing. Newcastle are coming. All these other people are coming. You should be extremely worried. And you know what? To everyone watching, understand, this is an annual celebration. This happens every year. This is, at this point, we just
happens every week.
We mark it on the calendar because this is what Spurs do. Every single time they get an opportunity to progress, it happens again. So today, we regress. We celebrate.
Honestly, I've never seen a team that have so many revivals of a season that dies the week later, and then it gets revived again, and then dies again, and then it gets revived again, and then it gets died again.
In fairness, I'm hoping it happens to Liverpool this weekend. To be fair,
I blame Sky Sports I blame the Sky Sports of the world. I blame the BT Sports of the world. I blame these big television companies for giving these Tottenham fans the actual belief that they're bigger than some of these other clubs. You're not bigger than Everton. You're not bigger than Aston Villa. You're not bigger than some of these clubs. The only thing is, right now, you're in a better state than them as a club. You're in a better situation than them. But your actual football club, what have you guys done? What have you brought to the table? In my lifetime, in your lifetime, have you guys seen Tottenham actually show armpits once? In the last 10 years?
Three times I've seen it. 3 times.
Yeah.
Wow. Terry, you've seen your team lift more trophies in the last 9 years than they've done your whole lifetime. That's crazy.
Man United, listen, I could be slightly out. I would, I would say in the last 15 years, in my lifetime, I think we've lost more finals than they've won total trophies.
Terry, I'll tell
I think
you this.
we've been in. I think we've lost more finals than
The
trophies in
antithesis
the
of what
last
was
3
going on at
years.
Tottenham, they brought a winner in Jose Mourinho. He said I couldn't do it there. They brought a winner in Antonio Conte. He said I couldn't do it there. They have players in their team that are losers, that don't want to win. They don't want to win. They don't have what it takes to push them over that line. And they continue to have the audacity to compare themselves to Arsenal, to Chelsea, to Manchester United, to Liverpool, to Man City. You're beneath all of us. It's the
I think
top
they
six.
should.
You're the first one.
They're saying to dare is to do. They have the 3 dots after, but I think they should just put just enough. Do you know what I mean? They only do just enough to be relevant. Do you know what I mean?
Are they even doing that anymore, though?
That's what I
Let's
mean.
be honest. The only reason we talk,
Question
when
mark.
was the last time we sat there and talked about Tottenham? And went, ooh, they're doing good.
A year ago, do you know what's crazy? A year ago, when Conte came in, he only had 2 players bought for him in that January. But you saw a team that had the makings to be a very good team. They're the makings. They look strong, hard to beat. They went up the table. They got into the top 4. And I thought, okay, and I remember saying at the end of last season, listen, if they buy well this summer, they give Antonio Conte what they want, they could be a threat next season. And look, they're still sitting 4th after having what I would consider a bad year.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like I was wrong in that. But what Tottenham didn't do is they gave them an awful summer. And this is when the penny dropped for me that they were going to have a bad season based on the hype they built up as fans was when I saw them celebrating the 6th sense, where I saw Jed Spence, who they didn't want, an over-the-hill average backup goalkeeper, a centre-back in Longley that nobody wants, an old man in Perisic, and an overrated, overpriced flop in Richarlison, and they were celebrating it as though they'd had the best transfer window since it was as good as Real Madrid in 2009. And I sat there and thought to myself, you man are full on delusional. We're going to be in title races. Then what I saw is they had their best ever start to a season. And it's like, oh, wow, we're doing it. But because the Arsenals of this world were being praised more because it looked better, they couldn't handle it. And then I sort of thought, you know what? You guys are giving it the big one, but you don't even really believe. Then the club starts doing things to Antonio Conte he doesn't like, and it falls apart. And it's hard sometimes to focus on the football at Tottenham because there's so many problems bigger than their football that the reason their football is so bad is because of everything that's going off the pitch. So it almost becomes nonsensical to speak about them tactically because none of that's going to improve until they fix the issues at their football club. And again, I don't mind if their football club is run poorly. It doesn't bother me per se. What I don't like is the chest they come to rivals with. You beat me on any given day, banter me. But when you start slagging my club off for only winning 3 trophies in 10 years, what? How does that make
0.
any sense?
Terry,
It doesn't make any sense. Shush.
Terry, I told Spurs fans I know when they beat us 2 weeks ago, this is not beating Chelsea this season is not a top thing. Okay, you know, but we're in a run of form that's not good.
Southampton double over Chelsea.
That's right. Since that game, I don't think they've won. Since they beat us, I think they've lost.
And this is why I mean, listen, this isn't me trying to dig my club out of trouble. This is why individual results, as great as they are, they become insignificant if you don't achieve at the end of it. So if Liverpool fans will listen, they'll always remember what they did to us at the weekend. If they go on to not make the top 4, and they go out the Champions League, it's a disastrous season for them. There's always that bragging rights they're going to have, and Spurs this season have bragging rights over Tottenham. Yeah. But that doesn't make your season any better. And I think for me, I just look at it that way. Well done, Spurs, but you've won nothing. And the question I want to ask, I want to bring Perchy out for this because he is he's a Spurs fan to come on and have his say. Nice. Let me just change the screen over so I can do this. There we go. Got everybody on now. The next question on Gio, we will speak about Milan. We will speak about PSG on this show. But I wanted to ask, what next for Harry Kane? What next for Harry Kane? I want to go Spurs fan first on this because for me, I'll get your view on Tottenham as in its entirety in a minute. But on Harry Kane, what should happen next?
I mean, out of his own absolute respect, he needs to find somewhere to go and win something. He doesn't deserve. We've actually let him down as a football club and an institution. We've completely let him down. It's unacceptable. But it is what it is. Tonight, didn't expect as much today. But what are you going to do? when you're basically subbing people off, attackers off for defenders. The guy's lost the plot. What's that?
He's got to protect the clean sheet. He's got to protect the clean sheet.
It's insanity. The guy
Away goals still matter.
Oh, yeah,
He still thinks away goals matter.
He brought on Sanchez instead of Dan Juma.
It's insane. But then I've wanted the guy out for a while. The guy's ridiculous.
And guess what? Guess they're bringing Poch back. They're bringing Poch back.
But it doesn't. The thing is you all say laugh and listen. I get it. Like it's banner. I'm a big boy. I can understand it. Listen, but I look at things much more past the sort of jovial kind of joking and stuff. I look at it much more like bigger than that, and it's ridiculous. The manager's terrible. He's not the biggest problem at the football club. The ownership and the hierarchy at the football club. We've got no plan at this club. It's not good. We have a manager that doesn't fit any sort of ethos at this football club. It was never going to work. Jose didn't work, but I couldn't stand Jose Mourinho because of how much he was at Chelsea, and that Chelsea link for me wasn't good. Like I just didn't like it at all. The biggest part of it, Jose did better with a worse squad than Antonio Conte's doing. That's a fact. Antonio Conte, let's just break down what he's been. He lost to a fourth Slovenian side that finished fourth in their division. Remember that? NS Mura, we lost to it then. We lost to Middlesbrough in the cup. Bear in mind, everyone says about a rotated squad. We had a better squad than they did. No, I'm on about in cup competitions. So in the league,
Sheffield United this year. Sheffield
United and Sheffield United's B team and Nottingham Forest's B team. So
Forest as well. You just let Jesse Lingard score.
Yeah,
he hit the gritty.
But I don't get it's that side of things. I don't. Is what it is. Like that's football. But
do you want to go back to Poch though? Do you really want to go back? Because that'd be like going. Oh, you got to your final, and then you know he wasn't doing great, and it was basically like he's got too big for your boots. You were with the missus for a long time, and then you reckon, oh, I can do better. So you break up, and then you go through about 3, and it doesn't work. So then you go crawling back. All I see happening if Mauricio Pochettino goes back is all the problems at Tottenham that you've got now. Mauricio Pochettino just puts up with, so they never change because he's not going to speak out about them because he never done the first time.
But let's be frank and honest. Every single manager has put up with it. Conte's put up with it. I'm not having this crap. If Conte hated what we're doing as a club, I'd have respected the man if he'd walked away on the 2nd of February when the transfer window shut, said, can't do it at this club anymore because they don't give me the tools to achieve what I want to. And I'd have respected him. But he hasn't. He stayed here because he's collecting 15 million quid a year. But he's collecting 15 million quid a year, and we can't score a goal against a crap AC Milan team. Let's put no disrespect, but they're crap. Sheffield United's B team, shit. A Wolves team that scored 9 league goals before we played them. Adama Traore, who scores a goal once every 3 seasons. And this is the part for me. Like I get all the sort of jokes and all the laughter and stuff. It's all fun and games. I'm a big kid. I can kind of accept all that. But I sit there and I just get wound up because I see people still defending Antonio Conte. It's the biggest problem at the moment now. But the biggest problem is the ownership of this football club because it's all wrong. I've been like that forever. But I can't take a lot of our fans seriously because they still go to games. If you're still going to games, then don't sit there and start telling me that you're leaving and Enoch out, but you're still going there week in, week out. I don't go anymore. I stopped going.
There's a name on here. Listen, there's a name on here who says Enoch out, but yeah, every single match day he's there. Every single time. I'm not a Christian, he has a right to attend games. So he's I'm not having we are Tottenham TV. What? We are Tottenham TV putting out Enoch out. Every single home game, every single away game.
Bertie, you know, because we've spoke on Twitter before. Yeah. I don't mind if people want to support their club. They've got every right to. But I never understand how you can call an owner. People do it when they glaze out. The Enoch are money hungry. They all they ever care about is money. But yet your response to that, your tangible responses, I'm going to give him 80 quid. Give him 80 quid to turn up. It's crazy. And listen, Man United fans have a little bit of an excuse of even if 60,000 of us stop going, we'd sell 60,000 seats to tourists. Spurs ain't got that problem. No disrespect.
No. We have. I've seen our waiting list for the season tickets. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but waiting list for season tickets, that's the point though. But if people that supported the club full time stop, that means the waiting list
No,
stop as well.
I agree.
I mean tourists. I just don't think you'd sell it out on tourists. I just don't think you would.
I have a weird feeling we do at the moment. It's because of one player. Unfortunately,
Son.
Son brings thousands of Koreans into the stadium. And when I used to go, literally everywhere. Like nothing against them. Listen, they're coming to support a player that's a global icon. I've got nothing against that. But until he's there, we are always going to make stupid amounts of money. Until he's still there, because listen,
I'd kidnap him. I think you got to go out and kidnap him. Like you got to stop him. No, I'm joking. That's a joke, by the way.
I know it is, but I get that. But I sit there and I just go, I'm not even shocked. Do you know what? I'm not even annoyed. I don't care. I haven't cared.
No, you got the NFL. You got these concerts at your stadium, so you still even if you get.
Banter aside, what I get. Enoch can't sell in. I think you're aware of.
Of course, I'm not a child. I know.
What's the next step? What's the next step? What do you think can make things better in your opinion, mate?
Right now, get rid of Antonio Conte tonight. Get rid of him. Get rid of him out of the football club. Get him out and start again. And listen, I've been on record and I've said it before on streams before. And I've said it. And for me, I would happily take finishing in 15th forward for 5 years if we've got a plan. We're going to say. Kane's going, Son's going. Listen, I've got a lot of the players out. I'd start again. I'd look at us and go, do you know what? Let's start with some young, hungry players. Let's just go into the championship and go, do you know what? We identify this player, and this player that can fit into our ethos and start again. Do a system similar to what Brighton do. I say this all the time. Like a conveyor belt of young players that you get in and then you can, if they offload, you get in a manager that goes, you get in a manager with the same ethos. What we do is we go, Pochettino, project manager, Jose Mourinho, who needs to play right this second to go and win. Same with Conte. Nuno was an absolute disaster. It's a circle. And when someone put the question, do I want Pochettino back? Don't care. I honestly don't care. It makes no difference.
You want to know something? For banter, I want you guys to not get top four, but
we're not getting top four. We're not. But let's be frank and obvious. We're not.
Let me land. I agree. I don't think you're going to get top four. But I think if you guys do get top four, it will bandage over cracks and it will be more detrimental than if you don't get it. Because if
it has done for a decade.
Because if you do get top four, it will make things seem like, you know what? We're still in the Champions League. We're still getting bottom line. We're still meeting some targets. And that's going to be like, you know what? You achieve something at the back end of the season. It will be like as if it will put a bandage over a bad season. And honestly, I kind of want that to happen because you're not going to improve as a club if you get top four again.
I didn't want us to get top four last season. I haven't wanted it for ages because we get humiliated in the Champions League. We had one of the worst runs. We had a Europa League running in the Champions League and we've been knocked out. Let's be frank and honest here. Look at who we've played in this tournament and we slipped over the line. It's not acceptable. Listen, as I can take ban, as I can take all that, but I've said this for a while. The only reason that Champions League football is seen as an achievement by the ownership is because it makes some money. I've said this all along. That's why I don't want it. I don't care. Exactly. Get your pound notes out because you're all in there and this is why I always find a lot of it. And listen, people have a go at me because I say, why are we going berserk beating West Ham and Chelsea? Because I know it's going to happen, and people in here will sit and laugh at us. I say it's pathetic. What are you doing? I see further than this. I see further into it because I know how this football club operates. I predicted we'd lose to Leicester. I said we've won a game and we're going to lose the next one. It happens every single time.
But you want to know something? I never met you before, but big up to you for coming on. You're speaking facts. But a lot of your fans at the beginning of the season, they were telling Arsenal, even Chelsea, even Manchester United, they're a more attractive proposition, that they're going to accomplish major things this season. And it's like, you don't have a bright future at all. Out of all of our clubs, you had a bright future a couple of years ago. It's gone to a situation where you've left it for so long that everything's rotting away. I could honestly see you guys finding yourself in a situation where you drop down like Everton from where Everton were to not relegation, obviously, but I could see you dropping down the table to almost irrelevance. It
won't happen because people said this before. People have said this before, and we're here and thereabouts kind of thing. It just won't happen. We've got, and we as I said to you, what we do is we do the bare minimum to achieve the Champions League money. We don't look to win the league.
This is the issue, my friend. You guys have not had it. Tell me 2 successful signings you guys have had since 2019.
2 successful since 2019. Oh, flipping heck. I mean,
Maybe
you could argue Bentancur and Kulusevski. They've not been amazing of late. Bentancur's out injured, obviously. Kulusevski's been a bit crap second half of the season. But I mean, you could argue them. Romero. I mean, today another fucking calamitous from him. Absolute liability.
If you continue on this road, you're basically a Big Six version of Everton. You have terrible transfers. You do terrible managerial signings. Your board don't really know what they're doing. You don't have the right structure. It seems like continuously you're depending on Harry Kane and Son to get you out of trouble. And at this moment in time, if you guys do sell them, you guys better have a good succession plan because
no. I've said this before. I said we're an average side without Harry Kane. I even park him in some for a second. Without Harry Kane this season, we're in the bottom half of the table. I say this and people go mad. I say we easily could be in a relegation battle without Harry Kane because Harry Kane is dragging this football club over the line. And I said I don't want him to go. He's one of my favourite ever players I've seen at this football club. One of the greatest players I've ever seen at this football club. We've let him down massively because when we had the opportunity, and I said it, after the season Chelsea beat us, the season after we lost to Leicester, when Leicester won the league, the season after, and we lost out when that Chelsea team went and won absolutely stupid amounts of games. It was insane. And it was Conte's system. It was Conte's team that went and won it, ironically. That was the year we had to say, I have no issues in spending. It's not about money. And I always say to people, everyone goes about spending money. It's not about that. What it is about buying the right players at the right positions. We don't do that. We brought in Richarlison. People always laugh about the Richarlison signing, but I'm not being funny. It doesn't fit the system we play.
I'm gonna head off.
But that's I appreciate it, bro. But you know what? But that's the issue here. And Spurs fans never want to hear it. They want to say that you're all against us and you're all bitter and blah 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 blah. I want to go to some super chats here that have come through. The first one said, "How is a Spurs fan chatting like this to Milan?" Yeah, obviously we spoke about it earlier. No, it wasn't you talking about the Henry Wright that we played. Chelsea got 5 past Milan. Spurs can't get 1, and
we're rubbish.
And you guys can't score. They should know, Spurs fans, AC Milan's Champions League heritage. Absolutely. How can I get on the show? An Arsenal fan. We have shared the link in the comment sections a few times, bro. Terry, if you need a Spurs fan, that was you. That was you. Yeah. You got the link, my bro. Terry, have you seen the film 7? Yeah, fantastic film, my friend. Thank you.
Fantastic title as well.
Brilliant title. What a trophy. Kimmich and Davis. Yeah, listen, they were great tonight. We'll get onto that a little bit later. Terry, I have a challenge for you. You said Kane will mean United will win the title next year. Are you really sure that a loser will make you win trophies? I believe that Kane this year Tottenham.
Kane wins Man United the title if he goes there next season. Full stop, end of conversation. Not having none of this nonsense. He doesn't win you. Harry Kane, with players around him of that ilk, Man United have got very good players around him. Wins them it. End of.
I agree. I think that there's too much pressure put on Kane to be the main man in games, and I think it consumes him because it's almost as if people stop playing because Kane's on the pitch because they think, well, he'll step up and he'll do it. And I believe he'll do a fantastic job for Man United personally, or anywhere he goes. Deborah here says, I'm absolutely gutted that my man Messi, the Eternal, is out of the Champions League again. It's a shame he isn't surrounded by better players. That's ironic.
This has to be.
I will always love the GOAT no matter what. When he plays, it's like a symphony.
Not tonight.
Mate, I mean, listen, PSG. I don't know about you lot, but PSG for me are just they're like it's like watching the All-Stars play or something. It's not really a football club. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
It's a free-for-all. Everyone's not thinking about themselves. They're not. They sit there and say they want the Champions League, but deep down they sit there and go, I want to be the one who won the Champions League, not I want the Champions League. They want the plaudits for it. PSG will never win what they want to win with this model. The team of superstars model doesn't work because you've got
Yeah.
too many egos to fill. And there have been some fantastic managers in the world. There've been some fantastic managers in history, but no one's able to control a team of 11 egos. You've got a team. You've got Donnarumma, who's got a massive ego. I'm not saying these players having an ego is wrong because they've achieved so many good things,
Neymar.
especially some of them at young ages, but it
Yeah.
doesn't work collectively. You can only have really 2 max in a team, and they've got to be managed so carefully. How do they expect to win when they have to manage Mbappe wanting to be the main man, Neymar wanting to be the main man, Messi wanting to be the main man? You've also got a whole set of defenders. The transfers don't really make much sense. Their whole plans for the transfers changes every 2 years. It's
You're
so
spot on.
broken.
It's a mess,
I think-
and it's the level of competition they play at as well. Week in, week out, they are playing a substandard level, and of course they've got great players. But it's they're playing at a substandard level where generally before a Champions League game they can rotate 11 players and still win. You could not do that in the Prem. No Premier League team could change anywhere near 8+ players for a Premier League game and win it. Maybe City if they were playing the team bottom of the league at home. As a general rule, you can't do that. Yeah, they're absolutely awful.
I do think they'll win it though. But I don't think they'll win it like they won't go and win it on the levels of the Barcelona's winning it loads. They'll win it once, I think.
I don't know when though.
I don't know when.
While they have, I can only stand by it. While they have these owners and this model of how they run this football club, they will never win it.
The thing is,
they will never win it.
They have to run their model this way. Otherwise, they can't generate the fan interest and the commercial interest in their football club to raise the money. Their marketing team's amazing. The fact that everybody looks at a PSG shirt as a fashion accessory rather than a football shirt is brilliant marketing, but it's an awful football club model. What's going to happen is the Qataris will buy Man United, and even though it's different people, I think you'll slowly see. I think you'll see a slow pull away from PSG at some point. And once they don't own PSG anymore, that league again, when we're top 5 leagues, Terry. As soon as the Qataris don't own PSG, Ligue 1 dies. Honesty here says, I'm telling you, not even the Lord can bring Spurs a trophy. God and Allah will be like this. This is above and beyond my powers. Don't worry, Ept's video will give you your fill. Thank you, Adam. I can't wait to watch that later. Pat on the next show. Yeah, but Arsenal won't win the Premier League. and do you know what it is? That'll be the excuses from Tottenham fans. Yeah, but you got beat 7-0. Liverpool, you're not even in the top 4 yet. Yeah, Chelsea, look where you are in the league. Brother, listen, we all have bad moments or some having bad seasons by our standards, but none of us would swap to be you. That's the fact. Said this all season, Conte is overrated. But on Conte, Winter Surfer just sent me this. Conte has just said, I am under contract at Tottenham. Then we will decide at the end of the season with the club if he stays. He goes on to state that my contract expires in June. We will see. They might sack me even before the end of the season. Who knows? Maybe they are disappointed, is what Antonio Conte says there.
Disappointed? Jesus, honestly, that man can go now. It's so boring. Bored of it, man.
Spurs have no desire to win anything, is what Tony has to say here.
Terry, Ineca is really focused on football because it generates more revenue. It's the exact same issue as the Glazers.
Yeah, but can I just say something when we say about desire winning? Can we also put accountability as well on the manager? I know I seem to go back on it. If when people say to us, like I've got fans that go, oh yeah, but the owners don't care about the cups, they care more about top 4. Then if that was the case, why did we beat Portsmouth and Preston in the FA Cup? Yep. Why did we play a team beatable? If that was the case, I always say to people, why did we not then play the academy players in the FA Cup and the League Cup? We didn't. Harry Kane played against Forest, and we played basically barring 2 players that rarely played for us was in the cup game. So I don't have that. We were just crap on the day.
The thing is, though, the part that gets me there is when we sit there and say they have no desire for winning, and you can say certain managers do as well. But the manager that had the most desire to win the cup, you just got rid of the week before the cup final. That is the biggest one that will always stick with you.
Absolutely. This says, heard they took off Dejan for Sancho. Please tell me you're joking. As an Arsenal fan, that pisses me off to hear. It's true. Gio's obviously here with us. He's a Milan fan. First of all, how happy are you to be through? What did you make of the game tonight, bro?
How easy
Yo,
was it?
Terry, this like you guys don't understand as Premier League fans. Like this game was a 20 million euro for us Milan fan. We're in the Serie A, we're in the Dinosaur League. We know we need to catch up to the Premier League. We're second in viewings, so we're the second most watched league. I'm just happy, man. And I don't know. Hey, Tom Little, what the hell is wrong with your legend Jamie Carragher? Always shitting on us. Is he mad? Then Maldini's still his girlfriend back in the days? Like, what's going on? Give us our respect.
I can't watch the American one.
Give us
We get
our
Jermaine
respect.
Genius.
Let us do what we gotta do. And you know what, Terry? I'm gonna say it like right now. Harry Kane, run down the contract and come to Milan. Come join the real Devils. Come over here. We're gonna make you that good pasta, that good ravioli, that good penne. Whatever you want, and we're gonna win leagues, and we're gonna fight for a Champions League. That's the best club you can go. You're not gonna accomplish nothing at Bayern Munich. They win the league with their eyes closed. Right here in Serie A, we fighting Inter. We're fighting the scammers, Juve. And you know what? I'm gonna say that Spurs, Juve are like Tottenham. They embarrass Serie A all the time. They go out to Leon and everything. But this is for Deji. He said that they were gonna smack us up. They were gonna throw us around. But I knew we were gonna win because we had Mike Maignan. And every Spurs fan was saying like, "Who is this guy, Mike Maignan? You know who he is. You guys are linked to him." So I just want to thank you.
That save right at the end was unbelievable. By the way, Harry Kane at the end, how he makes that save was incredible. Like fair play.
AC Milan's defense was incredible today. Honestly, I mean,
really?
I
think we were
across the two legs,
today.
especially. I thought that Malik Tiao, I hope I said his name right, and Fikayo Tomori, especially stay with Tomori. But Tiao across both the legs, fantastic.
Yeah.
Theo Hernandez, he's brilliant again.
I think AC Milan just a little clinical, like up front a little bit limp. I felt, and like Rafael Leao, a lot of people have been talking about an 80-90 million pound player. I mean, he was a lot slower than I thought. I mean, I've seen it. I thought he was better when he came on and played against Chelsea. There's something off with him tonight. I don't know whether he's been injured in the build up to this. He looked just a little bit phased. But I thought Milan played well. I thought they were strong. Obviously, this is not this is not what I'd call an AC Milan team. This is still a lot below that. But listen, they were only up against Spurs tonight, so they were expected to win.
And one last thing I want to say, Joe, you said that you left AC Milan for greener pastures. Well, since you left us, we won the Scudetto, and we have qualified more out of the knockout rounds than you have ever. Go rot your ass in PSG, and Vicario is coming for your spot, and you're going to ride the bench in the Azuri. That's all I got to say. Ciao.
Cheers, Gio, for coming. I'm going to speak to young Daniel in a moment, who's joined us now. Thank you, my bro. This here says a question for everyone. You guys be showing off you've got the most TikTok followers. That Spurs mentality. They have zero winning mentality. At least start with the Carabao Cup. They are happy just to participate.
The stadium's more focused on they've got Beyonce later on this year. That's going to be the biggest event in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Beyonce.
It's not a stadium anymore. It's a multimedia complex, my friend. It's the
new O2. I said it before. It's the new O2. It's a festival leisure park.
To be the most decorated person to ever be in that stadium for the trophy she's got.
It's crazy, Daniel. I'm going to come to you in one sec. I just want to. No sounds coming through. One sec. I just want to get some of these super chats out of the way because a lot of people have super chatted. And I don't want to disrespect them. Jerome here says any Spurs fans celebrating the top four this season are a disgrace because all it will do is grease up Enix's pockets. Why celebrate another year of trophyless embarrassment, but then celebrate being fourth? I did send Jerome the link, and I just want to say, he says here, can't join Terry, taking my wife for a scan as she is pregnant. So firstly, congratulations, but at least you as a Spurs fan scored. That's all I'm going to say. At least you scored in terms of getting that done. This here says Arsenal United rivalry slowly returning and Spurs a mid-table club again. Don't be upset, Spurs fans. Things are just returning to how they once were.
It's going to feel like 2006 again, isn't it?
It could. Young Daniel, how you feeling, mate?
I mean, Terry, to be honest, I went into this game saying that nothing's going to happen. And I think that's how I'm usually going to go into more games because I'm not that mad anymore. So it's just more of an accepting thing that we're not going to win any trophies. We have no ambition. And the fans also don't have any ambition to win anything either. So we're just happy to be in there. We're happy to have Beyonce once a month. We're happy to have Lady Gaga into the stadium, get in. Absolutely fantastic trophy. We're in the top 4. So, I mean, like, according to our fan standards, we're doing everything that we want right now.
You've
We're
got your F1
probably
as well, haven't you? You've got your F1 now as well. Big 15 years
fantastic.
of F1.
Yeah, we've got F1 track under our stadium. We've got a swimming pool. We can have a whole hotel complex on the bottom of our stadium for all I care.
The hotel is coming, by the way, and the cinema.
Yeah,
Genuinely, that's I'm not joking. That is actually part of the plan.
I know. I'm just laughing.
yeah, and we've got the cheese room. We've got a cheese room in our stadium. So
Well, no. The cheese room does not exist. That it was meant to, and after it was meant to. Don't mock the cheese
we
room.
bottled that too. We bottled the cheese room as well.
Oh, I'm fuming. I wanted the cheese room. I actually wanted to go and
Do you know what? Banter aside, where I feel sad for you guys, I remember seeing the faces of some lifelong Spurs fans when they walked into that stadium and they saw it and they burst into tears with happiness. And I think I remember seeing a few salty people online say, "Why would you cry over a stadium?" And I'm like, I think you're crying because it is a beautiful stadium, but it's the ideals, the promises that come with it. We're going to get the stadium and it's going to lead to more money and it's going to mean we win. So people start getting excited. And the fact that it isn't happening is crazy.
It's the brass rings, Terry. I say this all the time. Spurs fans need to stop clutching on the brass rings and start waking up a bit. And listen, and this is what I said. I said, but it's collectively the problem. I've always said, like, listen, I'm not one of these. I'd want change of ownership. You know that I've had the conversations with you a lot on Twitter about it. But as a reason why I don't go to that place anymore until something properly is changed. We have no plan. We've got a beautiful stadium, but we've got substandard in the middle of it. And it's not just the players. We've got some all right players in there. They're okay, some of them. But there's something wrong collectively. And it's not just an individual player. It's a whole collective problem from top to bottom that we've got. And no one will...
Yeah.
Nothing will change because the wheel will keep turning. And I've always said to people, this is what I say, it's going to make no difference. And listen, I know a lot of the guys that go to the protest, know a lot of the guys, some of them quite good mates of mine, that actually go and set these up. But it falls on deaf ears when 100 people turn up to a protest. We've got millions of fans worldwide.
This is the thing, bro. I mean, me and you have had this conversation on Twitter before.
Yeah.
Fans aren't against it. A lot of people asking what grabbing the brass ring means. That means trying to live life to the fullest and reaching for the highest prize. Essentially, Poch saying, don't do that as a Spurs fan because we're never going to get there because of the way we're run. So that's what.
We're sold a dream, and then we all believe the dream, but the dream never happens.
Yeah. You know, it's
we're living in a matrix.
Very much like Logan Paul's Logan Paul's NFT program. Yeah. It's fake. It isn't real. I've got to get through these super chats here. This one here says,
sounds like Arsenal fans 2012 onwards.
I hear that. This says if Tottenham had found Kane, had not found Kane, they would not. Would they be in the top 6? Because with Bale money, the only successful buy was Son.
Wasn't in the Bale money.
Yeah, wasn't in the Bale.
It was Eriksen, wasn't it?
Eriksen was only a good one.
Anchor ball.
Soldado scored a couple pens.
To answer the question, though, no. Harry Kane, Son's done very well with other players, but without Harry Kane this past basic decade, Tottenham wouldn't have even been in the league where they are. Would you say that's right, Dan? That Harry Kane carried you in that regards?
100%. 100%. And that's why I say, if Conte leaves, our club falls apart. Because if Conte leaves, Kane leaves.
Yeah. Also, before I go to this super chat, have you guys seen what Danny Rose has said?
What's he said?
So let me just I'll read this to you. I want to get this. Someone sent it to me and now I can't find it. But essentially, Danny Rose has said, Daniel Levy has said that the signings have not been good enough. He goes, it's funny that because I said that about 6 years ago and got fined 2 weeks' wages.
And Danny Rose, at the time, when he said those comments, every one of our fan base slagged the man off. And I said, he's talking absolute facts and you're having a go at him because he's calling out the owner. And no one liked it at the time. And I got slandered for it when it happened.
Hey, keep doing it, my friend. Terry, you should get Johnny Minerals from Minerals FC. Maybe one day. He's been on before. Terry, you know what's funny? Potter has has gotten further in the Champions League than Conte's entire career. He's got to a quarterfinal once. He hasn't won it. But yes, he's had a manager levels.
Elite manager, I've been told. Elite manager.
He's not in Europe.
Well,
that's true.
Serial
He's an elite
winner.
manager.
Serial winner.
Conte is not. No. Conte is not an elite manager. He's an elite manager. Conte's not an elite. He's an elite manager when he gets 80, 90 million pound players. I have not seen Antonio Conte coach one good player out of Spurs. Please tell me who.
Antonio Conte is an elite manager when he gets an elite team.
Yeah,
if he doesn't have an elite team,
so he is an elite manager, but he needs a certain circumstance.
Yeah.
You know, he needs something to be done, and that's him and Jose are almost the same type of manager in the fact that they need ready-made players. They are no good if you're working on shoestring budgets or if you're going to be giving them.
He's not a project manager.
Yeah, they're not. Project.
Wait, I don't agree with that statement though. Let me rebuttal on that. Every time he has left the club, it's not because he wants to leave. It's because the board have said, I'm not going to back you anymore. Inter Milan, they told him that we're not going to give you the players that we want, and our best players we're gonna sell them. And he left.
He didn't leave at Chelsea, did he?
He got sacked.
He got sacked at Chelsea because it absolutely became turgid, and every Chelsea fan warned us, saying this was going to happen. Every single one, we all blindly ignored it. Went, oh nah, he's an elite manager. But
he is an elite manager. He's an elite manager. We've just sat here and we've said that he will win trophies when he's backed, which means he's an elite manager. When you can sit here and say that if you give the players to the manager that they want, they're an elite manager. That means they're an elite manager.
Most managers, if you were to give Antonio Conte what Antonio Conte needs to win these trophies and become this elite manager, there are multiple other managers in the world who aren't classed as elite, who, if they were given that amount of money and that amount of spending power, and those players would also do the same thing. This is where it matters. When you haven't got that elite team, can you take them to the next step? And no, we can't, because his transfer strategy, it doesn't make sense. How is your best signing being a 33-year-old left winger at left wing back?
Tommy, do you class Jose Mourinho as an elite manager?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he succeed at Tottenham with the same strategy as transfers?
Because we're not an elite football club, my friend.
Yeah, but if you want to go on about Mourinho need the money, you want to
bought him Joe Roden.
Hang on a second, though.
Exactly.
No one said that Conte isn't an elite level manager. We're saying just like Jose, he needs to be given the types of players that fit how he wants to manage. And all managers are like that, by the way. They all need what they need. But the problem here is Tottenham. Tottenham didn't give him what he needs to succeed. Two of Chelsea's biggest mistakes they made in the Roman era was they did it 3 times actually. They did it with Jose first time round, then Ancelotti, and then Antonio Conte. And in all 3 circumstances, they threw the baby out with the bathwater rather than giving those managers more time and what they wanted. And they would have gone on to win even more. But Spurs, you've done it without them even winning you something. It's absolutely crazy. I've got a super chat. Sorry, I've got to get through these super chats before we end because we're well over time, and I don't like people not getting themselves heard. Messi hasn't scored a Champions League knockout away tie since 2013. Just thought it was interesting stat. Also, Mbappe needs to start turning up. Look, Mbappe needs to get out of Paris Saint-Germain. On Messi, there's one man in Saudi Arabia celebrating Messi didn't score and he's out. That Champions League goal record is staying intact. But he hasn't scored an away goal in knockouts since 2013, 10 years. That's I don't know if it's... listen, Mike, I'm trusting you with that stat.
PSG, he scored against PSG in his last season at Barca at the Parc des Princes. Absolute screamer as well.
Wasn't that in the Camp Nou?
That was in the group stages, wasn't it?
No, because it was the second leg after Mbappe got the hat-trick at the Camp Nou. Messi scored a screamer at the Parc des Princes. They only won 1-0, so they went out.
Fair enough. Maybe it's only one he scored then, but yeah, I'm just reading that stat out. My manager would have been sacked if 7-0 to Barca. I mean, that's cool, but I'm not a Real Madrid fan. I'm a United fan. I feel different about my manager. That's for you guys. Man United could also do that if we played in a league where only 2 teams were given all the money and it was a 2-horse race. It would be easier to do, but we don't have that luxury in England. Wouldn't be surprised if Qatar get Mbappe at United. And on that same thing, it's been broken tonight that if all things go according to plan, the deal for Man United could be agreed by the end of the month. And the way I'm going to look at it with new owners is from that point, our record against everybody is 0-0. So no one's ever beaten us badly. We've never lost any. It's going to be like, have you ever seen the Mighty Ducks?
This copium is mental.
You know when the Mighty Ducks go from being District 5 to the Mighty Ducks, they are unbeaten, undefeated. That's what happens when the Qataris come in. We're a different team. Are they signing Poch? Name another. Sorry, they are signing Poch. Name
Singing. I think he means singing. They're singing Poch's
name.
name.
Yeah.
Right. So it does
Fans were
say
singing about Mauricio Pochettino in the stands.
They were really. I can't with this club. Bro.
It's
All we wanna do is
hilarious.
go
You're
backwards.
singing for a manager who also failed.
Yeah, but
Exactly, man.
But Terry. Okay, I'm gonna point this here, and there is a reason for it. Pochettino, yes, did fail because he didn't win anything, and that's fact and stuff.
Yep.
What he did do though, he did elevate the club and brought us through. The reason why a lot of fans want Pochettino back, I don't necessarily want him back because I don't want him to come back because out of respect for him because he knows how we operate. But I understand why fans want him back because the one thing that Pochettino did do is at least it united the fans in the sense that we actually loved our football club. Not Tottenham fans don't love their football club anymore. Like, it's that low at the moment. I hate us at the moment.
I do get that. That makes a lot of sense. We've got Douglas here. Douglas, who do you support, bro?
I'm a Spurs fan here in America.
Nice, two of you from the States. How are you feeling, Doug, me old mate?
Man, I'm absolutely just like gutted by the team. I mean, that performance was just so flat in the first. You would at least think coming in with the energy, the build-up, all last week and into this week, over the weekend, coming into this game, that there would be something from the players. Something would reach out to the players to make them want to try. And it just seemed like, again, when it came down to it, I mean, it was just so flat. And I don't know if the players have stopped playing for the manager or if the players themselves have just given up on themselves. I don't like the way these players are playing. I don't even think they believe in themselves. I think they saw that 0-1, and I don't think they believed that coming into tonight's game that they were going to win this game. I think just from how they play, they were just trying not to let Milan score any more goals to make the aggregate any worse than what it was. It seems like it was just a button-up job. Just, all right, let's go through this game so we can focus back on the Premier League and top four. That's what it felt like. And, I mean, you heard it in the crowd. As soon as, I want to say around the 20th to 30th minute, it was just dead silent because nothing was happening. Milan was just zipping the ball around on their side of the field. You didn't see a single press out of any of the players. Harry Kane standing at the halfway line until Milan brought the ball over, and then there would be a press, as if we were 1-0 up or 2-0 up in the tie. It's just flat. It's just flat, and I don't really think the players even really cared anymore at that point. I don't really think they cared. I think the message has been sent in the locker room that they have their goals for what they want to get by the end of the season. It seems like it's just top four. And I mean, even if we don't get top four, I mean, I don't even know how we can consider ourselves like a Big Six team anymore. Like, what do we have to show when it comes to the table of Big Six clubs? What do we have to show?
You got the cheese room and the F1 track.
Well, okay, listen. The cheese room's not there, but why would you? Can I ask you, man? Why do you want to get Tottenham into the top four? Genuinely, serious question. What difference does it make?
I don't even think. I don't want this team to get top four because if we get top four, it's just going to have the expectations from the fans. And then in turn, the expectations will reach out to the ownership and they're going to pull some absolute crap out of their butt like they did this season, getting a manager that, I mean, doesn't suit the club at this moment. They're not going to back that manager. And the players that we have.
They have backed him to a certain extent, not to the level that he needs to, but they have support. They've said he brought in a 33-year-old Ivan Perisic who looks absolutely donkey. Like, honestly, terrible. He brought him in. I think he's been god-awful for the football.
To be fair to Perisic,
awful.
He worked out Inter Milan, but the reason he worked out Inter Milan was because he had a left-sided centre-back behind him that could actually support him. That's why Emerson has looked so good these last few days.
Also, though,
Ben
also,
Davies. Are we
also,
going to say Ben Davies isn't a fantastic left-sided supporting centre?
but also though, on a real level, Serie A is a slower league.
Exactly.
That's true as well.
Premier League is too quick and too fast for Perisic. What is he, 33, 34?
33.
33. It's too much, and it is what it is. But
I mean, I hear that. I hear that Serie A may be slower, but did you see how Tottenham was passing the ball around? When we had the ball, how many opportunities did you see either Kulusevski making a run through the lines or going out wide, and you just see Son or Royale just hold the ball until all the Milan players got back and they had 11 players in front of the ball, and then they decide to pass it. But yet, when you see Milan on the counterattack, they were throwing balls into space. Players were running into those spaces. They were so much quicker than us. So I can't even make that argument because we played so slow today and so flat.
We've played like that all season, though. We've played like that all season, and we're so predictable. It's unbelievable. And I said, you don't have to eat. And someone said to me, "Oh yeah, but all you have to do is defend well against Spurs and you win." I said, "No, you don't. You don't even have to defend well. As long as you're all, but you don't, because as long as if you're in charge and you just go, do you know what, guys? Stay in a line, stay organised, and you're fine. You don't push up, stay as you are, because Spurs won't do anything. They'll pass it." Tifo and stuff put out a great video today about Spurs. It's a good one to watch about why are Spurs so boring. You watch it and you can exactly see.
You need to go tactical with it. Just do what Fergie done. Just sit down with all your players in the dressing room and go, lads, it's Tottenham, and you've won. You've won.
But the thing is, as well, there's no identity to this Tottenham team. You know, nothing in terms of how they look, the structure, and that's where the problem lies. But there's no identity because there's a disconnect between the players and the manager, because the board ain't backing the manager how he wants, and it becomes a circle. This is what went on at my club. I can recognize this a mile away. The board don't back the manager in the way the manager wants. That doesn't just mean spending money. It's the right players, getting rid of people. And then when the manager isn't being listened to by the board, the players become disconnected. And that happens in every workplace on planet Earth. It works at every school. You know, that teacher that doesn't know how to discipline you properly, you're naughty for, but a different teacher walks in the room and even the naughty kids shut up and be quiet. It's all about the disconnect, and that's the problem you have. But
those
guys,
players know he's going. He's going.
They do. They know he's going as well, and that's why he should have gone. But listen, I want to say to everybody, thank you very much for you coming on, Douglas, Dan, and Perchy. Thank you all, because it's hard getting older Spurs fans tonight. I've been messaging lots of them all day. It didn't get any worse.
You know why people are hiding, man? Don't hide, man. Just call it out, man. I say it how it is.
Tommy, are you wearing an AC Milan shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking
the boys.
I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everybody that's come on. Listen, viewers, thank you. My super chatters, you're amazing. Make sure you go and download Top Kicks 23 right now. Get the app downloaded. Link in the description. It's an amazing app. Brilliant games, especially if you love digital collectibles. And we've got a surprise coming up with them in the later rounds when it comes to those cars. Maybe some physical ones on the way as well. So until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.